Now what I like to do when I get the cylinder on, and I constantly check things. I check for clearances down in here. Remember, this is such a large crank that it's going to push the piston farther up into the cylinder, but it will also take the piston skirt farther down towards the crank weights. Now, if your cylinder skirt or piston skirt hits on this, or the better chance is it'll hit right here or right here, right in there, or in the back. It could shatter the piston and you've got the most expensive paperweight in the world. With this, after I get it to where I want it, and every motor is different, it's like a work of art to me, but on this exhaust port right here, some of them have a piece of steel right here, bridge. This one doesn't, and when you get the cylinders from manufacturer, it's always good to take some 1000 grit sandpaper and go in and just put your finger on there and feel if there's a sharp edge or you can cut yourself. Well, then just take your sandpaper and nick that edge down to where it's partially smooth, and do the same thing on your side ports. And then of course, if you know how to port and do all that, which I know a little, but I don't know all the numbers to it, so I don't do it that much. Unless I knew everything about it, I wouldn't bother. And here's looking straight down the bore. You can see what we have is our boost port is right here, where the as the piston goes down, the boost port opens, and gas comes up from the bottom of the crank compression well and blows across the top of the system or piston and pushes it out into the exhaust pipe. Here are your two side ports, one on each side, and you can see down here the bearings. The bearings are in place, and you can see where they're halfway open so that the oily gas or fuel or petrol or whatever the hell you call it, solution, gets down in there and lubricates those bearings, keeps them cool. And this is the 54mm Charmo put on the bike engine. I'll put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off, until I'm sure that the last time that I'm going to build my bearings, do my bearings, that everything is okay. I want to make sure that everything fits flush all the way around here, and there's no little problems or anything, because with this huge cylinder, you've only got a tiny bit of room on your intake CT, where your CT manifold goes, right in here. You want to keep all that clean. Check your deck heights, and whatever you want to do. And then that's looking up into that huge exhaust, and that's where I use one of the bigger, either a Fongier stainless steel pipe or the big ass Fongier, which I've used. It's perfect because its pipe hole is huge like this. But then you want to go in with the Dremel, and this is all paint, and you want to get it as smooth as that cylinder is in there. That just helps. I mean, it doesn't hurt. It's on one cylinder, 50 cc's. It doesn't hurt. It's just kind of nice to. And then of course there's your back, and there's your. You want to make sure everything's correct there. Any little problem, and I'll tell you what, you're going to find out about it. And here's I think it says Charmo 89 cm squared. There's a 2 up there, I believe, right there. I think that's what it is. Now, that's about as far as math as I know. And then you can add different size bottom gaskets here, base gaskets, that will lift the cylinder up just a little bit. That will change your porting, but it will also give you an adjustment for your piston height, deck height, if you need to do that. Here's some more work. I think we're going in the right direction. Hope so. You always want to keep everything really clean. There's my bearings that I froze, brand new ones. You can tell because they have the grease in them still. And I like to put my, this is very important, I like to put my engine on a concrete floor, which I have here. Come on. And then I'll put the new bearing in where I want it, and I will get my washer and put it on top of the bearing, and I will slowly take my hammer, and it's really a trick to know how to swing a hammer. When you look at, say that this camera is an eye, it's very important. Okay, and these are my eyes. Okay, if I'm swinging a hammer up and down like this, and I'm looking like this, I'm going to miss every time. But if I swing the hammer up and down, and my eyes stay exactly on the middle of that bearing, right there and right there, that hammer will attack that washer dead on without touching any aluminum around it. So if your eyes are going like this or up or down, then you're going to miss. So that's a trick. On this side, if you'll notice, there's wood underneath here. What I do, there's been cases where you can take your hammer, and it's only, I don't know, 175 bucks, something like this for this piece. What I do is I take this 4x4 block, and what I'll have behind here is the 4x4 block right here. It's up off the ground. I do not put any pressure on this outside pieces at all. I want all of my leverage and everything behind this circle, because if you hit this hard enough, what you can do is you can actually break this top part off, and it'll blow right in the bottom there. And if it does that, well, it's 175 bucks for a new piece, which is, it's robbery, but that's the way it is. There's some bearings, and so we're all ready to go on that, and that'll be the inserting the bearings will be the next video. And as you can see, this is what I used to take off the clutch with. I use it to take off a few other things, but I have like one little tool that I've had for many years, and I've used this block, and this block. It's because it's all I have, and it works out pretty good. Okay, bearings in the next video.